Hello, good morning to all. Today we'll discuss the training and development. First, let's see, the employee life cycle is very important in any kind of business because you are selecting the potential people and you're not developing their knowledge, skill, and ability. So surely they will leave the company and they will find another place which is matching to their role and expectations. So it is very important in order to have the high sustainability in the business. So you need to select the right people, the potential people, and you need to keep them, trained in order to improve their KSA, knowledge, skill, and ability. Business life cycle also is very important in the, in the business life because I believe the your people, your employees, are the main pillar of the company. They are the assets. So they do good and best for the organizational the perspective. So what I'm suggesting, let's say if you're not training people well, so you cannot attain the high maturity business stage, because this business high maturity stage comes when you have the potential people, they are qualified, they are updating their knowledge, skills in the business, and they are doing their best in order to attain the business maturity stage. Because sometimes what happens, companies starting their business and they are just reaching and they are doing just enough work, only a growth stage, so but they are not reaching to the maturity stage, and sometimes they are going directly to the business decline stage, which is very bad for the business persons. So what I'm suggesting, business life cycle is a very important model. So you need to keep your people in a very high active in order to attain the business maturity on long-term basis. So that will be a much sustainable within the competitive market. Surely, when you will hire the people, so they will have the passion to have their the career growth. So parallel the main objective of the training and development. So you need to keep them with the high momentum in order to achieve the high level of the career opportunity within the company. So you need to have the high training and development, the possibility in your company starting from entry level up to the executive level, because you need to train the people in such a way where they are able to attain the key role in the market also, so this will increase your the business sustainability, and this will motivate the people, and definitely retention also will be higher, and lower turn rate of the employment in the workplace also, which is also very good indication for a professional company. Basically, this knowledge, skill, and attitude learning is the main pillar in the training and development phase. So, what you need to do? You need to develop the knowledge, skill, and attitude within the company. If you're going to see, there are three phases in the knowledge area, which is one is the declarative, second is the procedural, and third is the strategic. So declarative, you can say it require small amount of memory, which you need to keep in mind. Just like a day-to-day operational, which has not adding value in the company perspective. And procedural, what you need to do, you need to organize the information in such a way where you can use in a very high level uh, within the company in order to perform well. And the third stage is strategic. Strategic knowledge always you know give the maximum possibilities to your monitoring area, to your the planning area and other also. So with these are the three pillars very important for your organization. And skill based also. So your training should be developed in such a way where you need to improve the skills also. So skill also has a two phases. One is the compilation and second is the automaticity. Compilation, it's a very low level skill. People have the skill, but they are not up to the high level, which we can find in automaticity. So this also, skill based means, so you need to bring the people who are in the compilation stage, so you need to move them in the automaticity where you can see they can be a more potential, they will be more progressive in order to achieve the strategic goal of the company. And the third is the attitude. This is also a very important when you train your people. So you need to see either they have the feelings, the effect there, the it is increasing their behavior to adopt the new things they are trying very hard. Because what happens, it is very difficult to adopt the new behavior within the organization. So because the people, they are working in a traditional way. So that is why you need to develop your people in such a way where the feelings, the effect of their attitude also needs to move towards the positive behavior, which is really required for the job performance in the company. A training area, this is also very important because in most of the organizations there are so many areas which we need to develop, because the area development are targeting directly to your organizational effectiveness. So area could be job related also, the team building, because it's a very important, because team mean you can achieve together so many things. So you need to build your team in such a way where they are working together, which is very lacking in the company, because most of the people, they are have a culture to improve themselves and trying to get the credibility from the top management. So definitely most of the time they are not working as a team. So that is why you need to train your people in the team building area, which is very important also, because one person cannot achieve personal development. So you need to enhance their if you can see there is a gap in the organization, then you can go for the personal development in terms of increasing their decision making, leadership qualities, problem solving approach, business acumen. There's so many areas, so you can develop them which are directly relating to your the area of organization performance. There are also so many training methods which I can found in the market. So basically there are three, I categorize in three area. One is the on job training, which is very important. You can see your that lower level people, around 60-65% of the total manpower. So you need to develop their training on the job training on regular basis, because these are the 65 people, they are bringing their the high productivity, quality, and in increasing the business the expansion also. So you need to focus on them on regular basis. So on job training also will motivate them to learn more and try to increase their skill, their knowledge, and plus the ability also to perform more. Classroom training also, it's a very effective way of face to face. So where you will have the direct interaction with your trainer, so you can observe, you can ask the questions, you can enhance your skills, knowledge, and the other thing face to face rather, which is not happening in the online. Other methods, we can say it is online process. It is webinar training, some DVDs, the strategies also involved, the MP3s, and some Skype training, Skype meetings, Zoom also recently, I have seen in the internet. So these are the most of the phases where you can, people, you can involve the people on this other method. And other method mostly, which I believe it is a computer-based training, which are very effective, which are very, you can say, less cost, and you can retain a lot of thing databases on that. and plus you can also keep this on tracking, monitoring your all the phases also during this computer-based training program. Training cycle, it's basically it's a very important, because most of the training program, you can see it is started with have will have no, the the clarity actually. So this training cycle actually involve is the 5 to 6, the sorry, five the basis. One is you need to assess, you need to analyze the needs, what are the training you need for in order to make your organizational, the effectiveness. And the second is also, once you analyze, then you need to go for a designing phase, which is also very important. Then you need to go to develop it, then you need to implement, and then you can go to evaluate the training program. So for any kind of training program, I am suggesting, when you have any training program, so you need to keep in mind this the training cycle in your mind. If there is any lacking, then you need to reshape, the training phase, starting from your assessing, analyzing, designing, developing, implementing, and evaluating. So you need to keep on evolving this phase till you realize the whole strategic objective of the learning, which I really need to transfer. It's very important, because most of the learning you are learning, but you're not able to transfer because there is a lack of, some maybe in the area of design, in the area of develop, in the area of implementation, or maybe in the evaluation process also. So in the forthcoming the slides, surely we will take into consideration to all these phases one by one with a small brief, where you will have the idea that how you need to set your training program during this 5 area also. So this is the first need analysis, which I am talking about in the training cycle. Need analysis, basically, every organization setting some, the expected performance in terms of, the financial objective, profitability, production optimization, quality aspect. So how you need to make the analysis? So you need to compare your, the actual performance with the expected performance. So sometimes the actual performance is less than the expected performance, so it is called gap, performance gap. So which you need to identify, and you need to identify what are the, the parameters, what are the elements which are, making your performance below than the expected performance. So you can say performance gap comes how, expected performance minus actual performance. So whatever the gap comes, so you need to make the analysis. Then we need to set the training program for this in area in order to remove the deficiency within this gap. Go to the next now. Next phase of training, it is the design phase. Design phase also, it has a significance. One thing I can tell you here, in the whole training process cycle, because every training cycle process has a 3 phases: input, process, and the output. So whatever the output in the first phase, it will be the input for the next phase. So let's say, if you can see, there is a input, process, and output in your need analysis. So the output of that need analysis will be the input of the design phase, and design phase output will be the input of your developing phase, and this developing phase output will be evaluated as an input in the evaluation phase also. So these are interrelated, so you need to see all this input in a very high intention, in attention, in order to see the right input will have the right output also. A developing phase also, it is also very important in the training phase, and basically the process of instruction strategy, this will give you the best output. So what is instructional, the strategy? Basically, it is a list of whole training methods, procedures, and the material which you need to be utilized, during the development phase in order to have the best output in the development phase. So once you have the output, then you need to transfer to your implementation phase, here where you will see some other steps also. uh, Implementation phase also involve three steps: input, process, and the output. In the implementation phase, there is a two thing very important is one is the dry run and the pilot program. What is the dry run? Basically dry run in which you need to test the whole material. You need to go through the testing phase in order to see that this material is good for the training. And the pilot program, you need to, this will be in which you need to initially go through the training session, so that the spread of the good word from your training within the group of people. What happens actually? Dry run will give you the testing phase, which will demonstrate that how this material is effective, and the pilot run program will motivate your, the trainee, the motivation level within the group also. So you need to run before the actual implementation, these two phases: dry run and the pilot program. After the implementation is very important, so you need to evaluate, because evaluation will give you the right analysis that how you have achieved the learning objectives, and how this learning objective have been transferred, so this is very important, so evaluation phase is not necessarily, because most of the company, they have a different training program mandatory in order to motivate the people, in order to retain the people. So evaluation is not necessary, but surely when you evaluate, so you need to keep in mind the best utilization of the training objective. So it is very important. Now reach to the conclusion. What I understand from my whole training and development, the knowledge and the experience. Basically, there are three things very important, because these are the three things demonstrating your business in a high level. One is the knowledge, skill, and ability. So you need to increase their knowledge, skill, ability by implementing a different program, and integrate the technology in such a way where they are utilizing the best of their knowledge, skill, and ability in order to achieve the high growth rate. So you need to set the training in this all three area in such a way where you need to focus on the best utilization of your existing resources, surely in rate of interest, in return on the interest also, and try to make your organization effective in order to have the high sustainability in the market. Thank you very much. Thank you.